Good day, everyone. Our topic for today will be if-then statements, specifically transforming a statement into an equivalent if-then statement, and also the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of an if-then statement. First, i-define muna natin what is if-then statements. An if-then statement is a logical statement that has two parts, the if clause and the then clause. It is also called conditional statement. Again, tinatawag ding conditional statement ang if-then statement. And may dalawa siyang parts, if clause and then clause. Okay, ang example niyan ay yung nasa baba. If two angles are supplementary, then the sum of the measures of their angle is 180 degrees. We can denote a letter for each clause. P for the if clause and Q for the then clause. We can form an if-then statement by joining two statements, P and Q, using the word if-then. The statement is in the form if P, then Q. Okay? So, pinaghihiwalay yung if and then ng comma. Okay, so meron tayong two parts, yung if clause, yun yung una, and yung then clause, yung nasa baba. The P statement is called the hypothesis, and the Q statement is called the conclusion. Okay, so dito sa example natin, yung if two angles are supplementary, yan yung P natin, or our hypothesis. And yung then, the sum of the measures of their angle is 180 degrees. Yan naman yung Q natin. Okay? Or our conclusion. Okay? So, yung P and Q, inassign lang natin sila. Ibig sabihin, yung P, yun yung first part natin, kaya siya tinawag na if P. Then, yung Q naman, yun yung second part natin, or yung then clause natin. Kaya, yung mga statement natin ay nasa form na if P, then Q. Okay, so next. Transform a statement into an equivalent if-then statement. There are some conditional statements not written in if P, then Q form, but you can rewrite them using the if-then form. Okay, so for example, we have here, vertical angles are congruent. So, wala siya sa form na if P, then Q. Wala tayong nakikitang if tsaka then. Okay, pero pwede daw natin siyang i-rewrite as if, then form. Okay, so paano siya? So, yung gagawin natin kapag sinulat natin yung hypothesis and conclusion natin or yung if, then form natin, ay parehas lang nung sinasabi doon sa original statement. Okay? So, we have the if-then form. If two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. So, parehas lang ang ibig sabihin niya doon sa original statement, transform lang natin sa if-then form. Okay? So, pwede tayong magdagdag ng words as long as yung thought or yung message ng original statement natin ay parehas lang. Next is, i-identify naman natin ano yung hypothesis and conclusion dyan. Okay, so kanina sinabi natin yung hypothesis ay yung if clause or yung unang part. So, ang hypothesis natin ay two angles are vertical. Yun yung unang part. And yung conclusion natin, yung then clause. So, ibig sabihin, tanggalin lang natin yung then. Yung conclusion natin ay, they are congruent. Okay, so sa pag-identify ng hypothesis and conclusion, tatanggalin lang natin yung if tsaka then. Okay, next. The converse, inverse, and contrapositive of an if-then statement. Unahin na muna natin yung converse. So, iisa-isahin natin yan, yung converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Okay, so the converse is a statement obtained by reversing the hypothesis and conclusion of a conditional statement. So, ang keyword dito is reversing. Pag sinabi nating reverse, babalik ta rin natin. Okay, so para maintindihan yon, let's have an example. Write the converse of each conditional statement. If two lines intersect to form right angles, then they are perpendicular. So, pag sinabi nating babalik ta rin natin, mauuna nating isusulat yung conclusion, then ipa-follow ng hypothesis. So, ibig sabihin, etong they are perpendicular, yan na yung magiging P natin or if clause natin. Then, etong unang part, yung if two lines intersect to form right angles, yan na yung magiging conclusion natin or Q or yung then clause natin. Okay, so our answer will be if two lines are perpendicular. Okay, so napansin nyo, etong conclusion natin dito sa una, siya na ngayon yung magiging hypothesis natin. Okay, then they intersect to form right angles. So ngayon, yung hypothesis natin kanina, siya na yung naging conclusion natin. So ibig sabihin, reverse is babalik ta rin lang natin. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng converse. Pero kung inanalyze natin, same pa rin naman yung thought na gustong sabihin. If two lines intersect to form right angles, then they are perpendicular. So kapag may dalawa daw tayong linya na nag-intersect para maka-form ng right angles, then perpendicular sila. Okay, so yung converse statement naman, if two lines are perpendicular, so may dalawang linya daw tayo na perpendicular, then they intersect to form right angles. Ibig sabihin, equivalent statement niya din itong if-then statement natin. Okay, so ang tatandaan lang, kapag nagko-converse tayo or tina-transform natin yung if-then statement sa converse statement, is i-reverse lang natin. Meaning, yung hypothesis, magiging conclusion, yung conclusion, magiging hypothesis. Let's go to the inverse statement. The inverse is a statement formed by negating the hypothesis and conclusion of a conditional statement. So, ang keyword naman dito is negate. Pag sinabi nating negate is gagawin nating negative yung word. Okay, pero wala tayong babalik ta rin. Okay? So, let's have an example. Write the inverse of each conditional statement. If a figure is a square, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, ito yung if-then statement natin. Hindi natin babalik ta rin yan, pero magne-negate tayo. Okay, so paano natin susulat yon? If the figure is not a square, pag sinabi nating negate, gagamit tayo ng mga negative words like not or no. So we have here, if a figure is a square. So magiging, if the figure is not a square. So dinagdagan lang natin ng not. Okay, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, then it is not parallelogram. Okay, so ganun lang yung inverse. Lalagyan lang natin ng mga negative words, pero hindi natin babalik ta rin yung mismong statement. Okay. Next, we have contrapositive. The contrapositive is a statement formed by taking the negation of the hypothesis and the conclusion of the conditional statement, then interchanging them. Okay, so keyword, may negate na naman tayo dito and meron tayong interchange. So, ibig sabihin, ang contrapositive ay pinagsamang converse and inverse. Okay, babalik ta rin natin siya at the same time maglalagay tayo ng negative words. Okay, so isa-isahin natin. Ito yung example natin. If two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. Kung gagawin natin siyang converse, babalik ta rin lang natin, di ba? So, if two angles are congruent, so mauuna na to. Then, they are vertical, okay? So, yung hypothesis natin kanina, nandito na siya sa conclusion. Then, yung inverse niya, hindi natin babaliktarin pero lalagyan natin ng not. So, if two angles are not vertical, then, ayan yun. If two angles are not, nilagyan niya lang ng not, then they are not congruent. Okay, nilagyan lang din to ng not. Okay, so sa contrapositive naman, pagsasamahin natin, lalagyan natin ng not, then babaliktarin natin. Okay, so if two angles are not congruent, okay, if two angles are not congruent, so eto na yung hypothesis natin ngayon, then nilagyan natin ng not. Okay, then they are not vertical. O, eto na yung conclusion natin ngayon, then nilagyan ng not. Okay, so halimbawa binigay na sa inyo yung inverse, yan, babaliktarin nyo na lang yan. If two angles are not vertical, then they are not congruent. So, mauuna na tong part na to, tapos this one. Okay, so sana naintindihan yung pinagkaiba ng converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Next. Okay, so let's summarize yung mga discussion natin. We can summarize how to convert conditional statement in terms of P and Q. Okay, so kapag meron tayong statement na if-then statement, ang format niya is if P, then Q. Pag ginawa naman nating converse, babaliktarin natin, so magiging if Q, then P. Pag ginawa nating inverse, hindi natin babaliktarin, mauuna pa rin si P, pero lalagyan natin ng not. So, magiging if not P, then not Q. Okay, pag contrapositive, babaliktarin natin, then lalagyan natin ng not. So, magiging if not Q, then not P. Okay, so let's have an activity. Tingnan natin. Gawin natin itong example. An even number is divisible by 2. Okay, gawin natin siyang if-then statement. So, lalagyan natin ng if and then. Pero hindi natin babaliktarin. So, we have now our statement, if a number is even, then it is divisible by 2. Okay, nilagyan lang natin ng if tsaka then. Okay, next is yung converse. Babaliktarin lang natin. Etong part na to yung mauuna. Then, eto na yung conclusion natin. So, we have, if a number is divisible by 2, then it is even. Next, sa inverse naman, hindi natin babaliktarin, pero maglalagay tayo ng negating words. Okay, so we have, if it is not an even number, ayan pa rin yun, nilagyan lang natin ng not, then it is not divisible by 2. So, eto pa rin yan, nilagyan lang natin ng not. Then, contrapositive is, babaliktarin natin and lalagyan natin ng negating words. So, if it is not divisible by 2, okay, nabaliktad na. Tapos, meron siyang not. Then, it is not an even number. Okay. So, nandun na yon. Then, meron tayong not. Okay, so yun yung pinagkaiba ng if-then statement, converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So, thank you for listening. I hope na may natutunan kayo ngayong araw na to. If you like this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Bye!